Good morning. This is X-Pulse AI Morning Mix. Today is Thursday, February 19th, 2026. We're talking OpenAI's big India infrastructure move, a Microsoft Copilot privacy slip, fresh money for agent workflows, and a major new GPU hub. Orion's here with me, ready to jump in?
Ready, let's do it.
Leading the day, OpenAI announced OpenAI for India on February 18th. OpenAI's own blog and Reuters coverage both highlighted a strategic partnership with Tata Group. What's the concrete move here?
OpenAI says it'll be the first customer of Tata Consultancy Services' HyperVault data center business, starting with 100 megawatts of capacity, scalable toward 1 gigawatt, tied to OpenAI's broader Stargate infrastructure push. They also plan to deploy ChatGPT Enterprise across Tata Group companies.
100 megawatts is not subtle. What changes if OpenAI has that much local capacity?
Lower latency and more predictable throughput for enterprise workloads, plus easier alignment with data residency expectations. It also signals they're serious about India as a build and serve region, not just a sales market. Local offices, upskilling, and longer-term infrastructure planning.
Does this read like competition for hyperscalers or a partnership layer on top?
More like a partnership layer. OpenAI still needs broad cloud and hardware ecosystems, but it's a clear play to diversify where capacity comes from and to anchor large customers locally. It's also a template. Pair enterprise rollout with dedicated power and racks so usage doesn't fight for scraps.
Now the uncomfortable one. TechCrunch reported on February 18th that Microsoft confirmed an Office bug caused Copilot for Microsoft 365 to process and summarize emails labeled confidential. What happened?
Microsoft says a bug, tracking ID CW12263324, effectively bypassed configured data loss prevention policies. So Copilot could ingest and summarize content that should have been blocked by those confidentiality labels, at least for affected tenants.
So was this a someone saw the emails situation or a the model touched them situation?
It's described as Copilot processing and summarizing them, which is already a policy breach in many companies, even if the summary stays inside the tenant. The core issue is trust. Controls that were supposed to prevent access didn't hold under this edge case.
Microsoft says it's fixed.
They said a server-side fix started rolling out in early February, and they've been contacting affected tenants as remediation propagates. If you run Copilot, it's a reminder to verify DLP behavior with real test cases, because confidential should mean confidential, not confidential-ish.
What's your practical advice for teams this morning?
Audit what Copilot can access, validate labeling and DLP with scripted tests, and ensure incident response includes AI tooling. Treat your assistant like an intern with superpowers, helpful, fast, and absolutely needs guardrails.
Staying on infrastructure. Reuters reported on February 18th that India's Yotta Data Services plans an over $2 billion AI processing hub using NVIDIA Blackwell Ultra chips. What are the specifics?
Yotta says it will deploy 20,736 liquid-cooled NVIDIA Blackwell Ultra GPUs. Reuters says it'll host a DGX cloud supercluster under a multi-year engagement with NVIDIA, and the project is expected to go live by August.
That's a lot of GPUs. What's the strategic angle for India's ecosystem?
It's capacity, sovereignty, and time to train. If the hub comes online on schedule, it can attract model training, fine-tuning, and inference workloads that would otherwise queue abroad. And it builds a domestic supply of serious compute for startups and enterprises.
Reuters also mentioned a 4-year engagement worth about $1 billion. What does that imply?
Likely long-term commitments around cloud capacity, platform services, and operations, more than just buying hardware once. And yes, liquid cooling plus this scale means the facility is basically a gym membership for electrons.
How should listeners mentally file this, cloud expansion, or AI industrial policy by another name?
Both. In 2026, compute is infrastructure in the same way ports and power grids are. This is a bet that demand for training and inference will keep rising, and that being close to the demand center matters.
Let's talk agent plumbing. Reuters reported on February 17th that Temporal raised $300 million in a Series D led by Andreessen Horowitz, valuing it at $5 billion. What did Temporal say is driving this?
Temporal says demand is surging for durable execution, running long-running, stateful workflows reliably, as companies move agentic systems into production. They framed it as the infrastructure layer that keeps agents from failing silently when they hit timeouts, retries, and multi-step dependencies.
For anyone who hasn't used it, what is Temporal in plain English?
It's a workflow engine that guarantees steps get executed, retried, and tracked over time, even across outages. If you're building an AI agent that has to call tools, wait for approvals, and come back tomorrow, Temporal helps it behave like software, not like a demo.
So the money goes to...
Temporal said proceeds will expand its cloud platform and deepen open source investments. This is the boring reliability phase of agents, and boring is good when your agent is allowed to touch production systems.
Any broader read on the market from a $5 billion valuation?
It signals investors think agent adoption is shifting from prototypes to operations. Once you run real workflows, the winners aren't just the smartest models, they're the systems that don't break at 2 a.m. during payroll.
Back to Microsoft, but on the product side. On February 17th, Microsoft's Power Platform blog posted the February update: Copilot Chat inside model-driven apps, plus public preview for new app and agent features. What's new for builders?
They're embedding Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat directly into model-driven apps, so the assistant lives inside the business workflow. And across Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Pages, they're pushing more agent-style building blocks and Copilot integrations for automations and app flows.
What does Copilot in the app change versus a separate chat window?
Context and action. If the assistant is sitting inside a CRM or case management screen, it can reference the same records and guide the next step without users switching tabs. Done well, it turns chat into do the work, not talk about the work.
Given the Copilot email bug we just discussed, does this raise the stakes?
Absolutely. The more Copilot is embedded in core apps, the more access control and logging become non-negotiable. The value is huge. So is the blast radius if permissions are misconfigured. Convenience and governance have to ship together.
Bottom line, this is Microsoft doubling down on agents for knowledge work.
Yes. Agents as a first-class feature inside the tools people already use. Microsoft is betting that the winning interface is the workflow itself, with the assistant woven into it. It's OpenAI pushing two messages at once: scale access and scale governance. Altman also cited about 100 million weekly ChatGPT users in India, framing the country as both a growth engine and a proving ground for how advanced AI gets deployed responsibly.
On the commerce side, Gadgets 360 and The Economic Times reported February 19th that OpenAI and Pine Labs are collaborating on agentic commerce for merchants in India. What's the gist?
Pine Labs says it'll integrate OpenAI APIs into its payments infrastructure, positioning itself as OpenAI's first ChatGPT payments partner in India. The pitch is agents that can help discover, recommend, and complete transactions and automate merchant workflows like settlements and invoicing.
Zooming out, Associated Press on February 19th framed the summit as Modi positioning India as a global AI hub. And on February 18th, Google announced DeepMind partnerships with Indian government research bodies for AI for science models and education programs. Plus, Bharat Gen unveiled Param 2, a 17 billion parameter mixture of experts multilingual model for 22 Indic languages.
The pattern is compute, capability, and curriculum. Big infrastructure, frontier model access for science, and local language foundation models aimed at public services. If it holds, India becomes not just a user market, but a place where models, datasets, and talent loops compound.
And finally, a little philosophical spice. Business Today on February 19th quoted Yan LeCun pushing back on AGI hype. LLMs are useful but limited, while the Economic Times covered Meta's Alexander Wang talking up personal AI agents as the next major opportunity. Same stage, different vibes.
They're two sides of the same coin. LeCun is warning against overclaiming cognition. Wang is arguing the product opportunity is massive anyway, personal agents at scale. Translation: even if it's not general intelligence, it can still be general disruption.
That's the mix. OpenAI anchoring major India capacity with Tata, Microsoft expanding Copilot deeper into workflows while dealing with a serious confidentiality bug, and a surge of real-world agents infrastructure, from Temporal's 300 million raise to Yotta's Blackwell Ultra buildout.
The common thread is operationalization. Everyone's moving from can we demo it to can we run it safely, reliably, and at national scale. That's where the next wave of winners and the next wave of failures will show up.
If this helped you stay ahead, share XPulse AI Morning Mix with a friend or coworker who lives in their calendar and their inbox. I'm Iris. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning.